what we call the visa on arrival, right? So we have some permission that's been granted to visitors that are coming into the country from December 1st to January 1st. That's the window you have to operate in. So if you're a person that Ghana is lovely for you to be in, well, some flexibility in there for you. We'll be talking more on that and more on tourism this afternoon with our guests, and that's joining us in the studio. So we have KWASI Agyeman. KWASI Agyeman is joining us from the Ghana Tourism Authority, and he'll be telling us more about it. A lot of you are asking some questions about that window that's been given to us by government. Let's understand it better here on Good Afternoon Ghana. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll start talking. Right, you're welcome to the program. Good Afternoon Ghana is the program, and I have my guest with me already, Mr. KWASI Agyeman. He's CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority, and he's going to be spending some time with us this afternoon on policies that are boosting, tourism in the country. Mr. Agyeman, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been a while.
How have you been?
I'm good. Thank God. How have you been too?
I've been okay.
Are you looking good?
Oh, working for God and country.
That's good.
Working for God and country. So, the last time I met you was on Good Evening Ghana.
Good Evening Ghana.
We spoke about, I think...
Year of return.
Year of return,
so many
yes,
things.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it was after the year of return.
Yes.
And you wanted to find out how
Yes,
it
how
had
did
impacted.
it go?
Yeah. So we've come a long way. A lot of challenges that we have to deal with post COVID. In terms of how do we bring our industry back. You know, the tourism sector was one of the badly hit sectors of the economy. Airports were shut, hotels had to lay off people, had to shut down. So it was generally a very difficult period for us in 2020. But we've tried to build back using certain strategies, focusing a bit more on domestic tourism, and also being aggressive with our marketing and directing people to the destination. So far, I think we've managed to get to a point where we are almost at the pre-pandemic levels in terms of our numbers.
How's it looking like pre-pandemic? How's it looking like?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, number of arrivals. Last year, for example, we had 917 or so thousand people come in compared to 1.1 million in 2019. So you see that we are close. We are just around 90% of 90% of what we were doing before the pandemic. Hotel room occupancy is also going up, thanks to activities like the December in GH, Panafest, Emancipation. So we've seen a steady flow of people coming in who are staying in hotels. We've also seen domestic tourism, the number of people visiting tourist sites and attractions in the country going up. I mean, 2021, it was around 500,000. Last year, it was 900,000. This year, I want to cross the 1 million mark. And so all these things are going well. We've also done some investment in infrastructure. We see the Kwame Nkrumah Park that has been reopened. Bonri Kente Museum in next month, in December, we're going to open that as well. Work is going to start at the Nationalism Park and the Geese Park. Currently, we have work going on in Salaga, the slave market, Pikoro slave camp, Tanoboasu Sacred Grove, the Chichire ecotourism site, and a few others. So I think we've been very, very deliberate in investing in the industry, working with our operators to market and sell the destination, and importantly, making sure that when people come in, the service delivery also matches up. So training is also ongoing.
When you say you've been a bit deliberate, I have a bit of some questions in that area. But before we get there, let's have a short story or a report about the visa on arrival, window that we have here in the country now. We'll talk about that, and then we'll get into the tourism proper. We'll be back shortly after this report.
The government of Ghana through the Transport Ministry announced the introduction of visa on arrival for all passengers traveling into the country from December 1, 2023 to January 1, 2024. The decision, according to the ministry, will waiver the requirement of pre-arrival visa acquisition for travelers to Ghana ahead of the Christmas season. In an exclusive interview, the Chief Executive Officer for the Ghana Tourism Authority, KWASI Agyeman, said the move is intended to attract more international tourists from the diaspora and other parts of the world to visit Ghana for this year's December in Ghana.
We've always been advocating a way to make it easier for people to come to Ghana because tourism thrives on access. If you can create the access for people, they will come. Access is visa, access is aircraft, airlines, access is making sure that the pathways to your destination is smooth. We are very, very excited that at least for the next 6 weeks from 1st December, people can just pick their passports, book a flight, jump on the flight and come to Ghana. That will see an increase in the numbers for us and importantly, see an increase in economic activity around the value chain of tourism, hotels, airlines, restaurants, those who are by the roadside, street food, fashion, and all that.
He added that his outfit and other relevant ministries and agencies are putting in place measures to improve the night economy initiative, which forms part of the activities under the government's December in Ghana.
I want to improve upon the night economy that the Minister of Finance talked about. So there's a task force that we are chairing. What we want to do is to look and identify all the hotspots that we have in the country, like the Osu Night Market, Spinters Road, Dansoman, places that are already attracting attention. And what can we bring to bear there? Maybe improve the security, improve the lighting, improve the infrastructure on ground so that more people can go out in the evening. And as more people come out in the evening, they will spend more, the economy will grow.
The Transport Ministry has also called for the upgrade of system to reflect the new directive given to the airline and entities responsible for checking in passengers traveling to Ghana.
Right, so that's a brief report by the Metro News Desk. Elvis Ando led that report. Maybe you will tell us a bit, explain to us what that visa on arrival policy really is about.
Yes, I will say that is good news for all of us because we know that access is critical. I mean, we've been marketing Ghana. We've done a lot of programs across the globe, in Europe, in America, and other places. And people are eager to come to Ghana. But if that access point, when it comes to having the number of airlines that come into your destination or the visa regime, it's a bit challenging, then people will not come. People are used to picking my passport, jumping on a flight and traveling. And so we engage with the various ministries, especially Ministry of Interior and Foreign Affairs, that how can we ease the pathways for people to come to Ghana? Because they want to come. People really, really want to come. And so they agreed that in the interim, they will grant this visa on arrival for us for 6 weeks. So from 1st of December to the 15th of January 2024.
Oh, it's 15th of January.
15th January.
Okay, I thought it was from 1st of...
Yeah, no, 15th of January because all the activities and all the programs that we have lined up for December in GH, I mean, goes into January. So we want people to still want to come, even 1st January, 2nd, 3rd. All right. And then they've also assured us that they're working on the e-visa platform. I mean, for us, that would be the icing on the cake for us in all the things that we've done around the return. If we can get a platform where people just go online, sign up for a visa, and then they get pre-approved so that you can board a flight. You don't have to mail your passport anywhere. You don't have to go through any wahala. You just jump on the flight, you come to Ghana, and already we know how Ghanaians do it. The country is noted for...
take your time and explain that bit for us, the e-visa. What is that?
Okay, so the e-visa is more or less automating the process, where currently if you are in the United States or you are in other destinations, you either go to the embassy. In some cases, you fill the form online and then you send your documents to the embassy.
Yeah.
That process takes some time because they will receive.
Yeah, but sometimes you go to the embassy, you have to take your biometrics and things like that.
Oh, and that's what I'm saying. It's not everywhere that you do the biometrics. So they will send the documents to the embassy. The embassy will process and send it back. In some cases, they have to be present to do the biometrics. And so if you are, for example, in Rome and you in Italy and you are in Napoli, you probably have to jump on a train to go. So all these things add up to the cost of travel for people. Yeah. So an e-visa platform will make that very, very simple. Where you go on the platform, you apply, and then maybe a day or depending on the time frame that is given, you are given an answer. If your answer is yes, then you get a barcode. With that barcode, you can jump onto the flight. And then when you get to Accra, the visa is put on in your passport for you. And so that will clear out a lot of the bottlenecks that people go through in wanting to come to Ghana. I've seen on a few occasions in some of the embassies, a lot of people queuing for a visa, for a Ghanaian visa to come. And yes, we also queue to get visas to go somewhere, but I think in our case, we are the ones who are inviting the global African family to come home. So we have to make it easier for them to come. And so I think the visa on arrival that has been put in place is also a way for us to say, yes, we asked you to come. We are making it easier for you to come.
Yeah. So we know that this will add anything to our revenue generation as far as tourism is concerned.
Yes, I mean...
What are we projecting?
We project, it's not projection, actually the numbers are there. The numbers tell us that on an average, a tourist coming to Ghana spends between 2,800 and 3,000. So an average of 2,900. And so if we can get more numbers coming, then all this money that I'm talking about, each person that comes in, 2,900, where will it go? Some will go to the hotels. Some will go to government in terms of airport taxes. Some will go to the eateries, the restaurants, the pubs. Some will go into drinking activities, pubs, bars, and all that. Some will go to car transport services, whether it's Uber, whether it's taxis, whether it's Trotro, whether it's Ayalolo. So you realize that the ecosystem is such that everybody gets a bit of the pie. And for us, that is why we want to attract more people coming in, because everybody who will come here will contribute to the economic activity. Whether it's a small watches seller in the corner, the kinky, the night market, everybody will get something. And so the more we can bring...
But are we not, as a country, are we not losing something, that also comes in the coffers as far as visa processes are concerned?
No, you pay for the visa on arrival. It's not free. And so people are going to pay when they get to Kotoka. What we have taken out is the processes that go in. But I mean, the visa on arrival attracts an admission fee, and that they will pay.
So is that, are you doing anything about the cost, or is the same cost?
It's the same cost, but we have always made a case to the relevant authorities, in this case immigration, and so we are engaging to see whether something can be done about it. But for us, at the end of the day, if we're able to show the numbers, and we have been showing it, and that's why the Minister of Finance in his budget statement mentioned tourism several times, because we've been showing the data. When people come in, the hotels are getting full.
So you've managed to convince Ofuriatta? That's strange.
We haven't been able to.
Nobody ever convinces that man.
Oh, at least he likes tourism. He loves tourism. Every time he wants tourism to thrive, and so under his ministry, tourism is part of the Ghana Cares project. But I mean, the fact that he keeps talking about the tourism, the night economy, and how we can grow our numbers is good for us. The president has also been very, very...
It was the first time he ever mentioned the night economy when he was presenting the budget.
No.
He never really...
No. He mentioned it in the mid-year budget that he is going to have... is a night economy. I mean, I know where you're going, but the night economy... The
mid-year budget?
Yeah.
Where do you think I'm going?
I mean, you're bringing this whole night economy, 24-hour economy into the
But you mentioned night economy. I didn't even mention it.
No, but Kenneth Furiata mentioned night economy.
Yeah, but I'm saying, you said he's mentioned it many times. And I said, mentioned. It was just that the day he was presenting the budget that he mentioned the night economy. I've never really heard of Furiata mention
all right. I mean, in the media budget, he mentioned it. But I think for us, it's more of what can we do to improve the ecosystem around tourism. I mean, for me, it's very clear that if we are deliberate as we have been, currently we are chairing a task force that has been working with the Ministry of Local Government, Ministry of Youth and Sports, Interior, GRA, and information to see what can we do to improve on some of the activities that are happening around our communities. If you go to a place like the Spintex Road at night, you see a lot of pubs, bars, lounges that are operating, but you need some infrastructure to come on board to support them. Lights in the streets, security. People close, go out, stay out. If you even go out home around 11, if you are out, I mean, when my kids are not at home by 9, 10, I start calling them, where are you? Why? Because there's a certain
sense of insecurity.
Sense of insecurity that why you that late that. But if you go to, let's say, places like Times Square in New York, people are out there eating, watching things, and going about their business.
What are the elements you picked from Times Square that makes it very comfortable for people to be operating at night?
Light. If the place is dark, people are a bit skeptical. So it's a very well lit place, and then also availability of so many things. They have different food varieties, and so if we have a place where people can go out there, you can get your kenke, you can get your wache. Even those who want to eat night fufu can do that. And then there's entertainment, so music draws people out. Then on top of that, if people feel that after all this, when I'm going home, I'm safe, then we are doing something, because that is what will put money in the pockets of the ordinary people. I mean, the big 5-star hotels currently are doing okay because the people are coming, the hotels are filling up. We want it to translate into the pockets of the woman who sells kenke, the cocoa seller, and all those people. And we believe that through these deliberate efforts, we will be able to do that.
But what do you think? What do we think that it is activities that will encourage people to operate at night? We know that largely, when it comes to the night operations, is more of security lighting. But in Ghana, one of the biggest problems we have, we know, is street lights.
But that's why I said
we don't even have common street lights, much less additional lights that are meant for entertainment. If you go to Times Square, you see how Times Square is lit. It's literally lit like day.
So we can do that.
Except for the fact that you see dark sky, then you know that it's night. But it's really lit. But in Ghana, we lack ordinary street lights for driving.
Okay, so I think it's
much less talk about what tourism can provide when it comes to lighting for entertainment activities.
We are not the ones providing, and that's why
I'm just saying that because we're using your vehicle to boost activities.
So that's why I mentioned the task force that is in place, and we have the Ministry of Local Government. They are the supervising ministry for all the various assemblies, and the assemblies are responsible for street lights. And so I think it's a step in the right direction. We're having engagements. Even tomorrow, we are meeting again on this.
The task force or the assembly?
The task force. To look at some of the hotspots, what I call the hotspots, places that are already doing things. I mean, where activity is heavy, where you can add on with the infrastructure, with sanitation, with light, with all those things. So I think it's a step in the right direction. We will get there. I mean, I believe that nothing started, nothing completed. So let's look at what we have, what we can build on. And I agree with you that I wish that everywhere is lit and you will go everywhere there's light. It's not like that, but somebody has to take it up. And I'm very confident that with the task that has been given us by the Ministry of Finance to work with all these agencies, we will go back to the drawing board with a plan, a clear plan, that these are the areas that we are starting with. But on top of these areas, I mean, yesterday, for example, when we had our meeting, somebody gave an example that they like going out. I mean, we've been engaging different groups, so they will come and tell us what they see. They say they like going out. So sometimes where they go, like Osu, it looks safe because you see a lot of security there. But from there, maybe he's going to his house in Kwabenya, and in the night, he's a bit skeptical. So how do we make sure that people in Kwabenya feel safe, coming all the way to Osu, or people in Osu go all the way to Kabenya at night. That, for me, is part of the challenge, and we are going to address that.
What created the, if you look, Osu as a case study, if you come to Spintex Road, there is a place we call...
Inshiraba.
Inshiraba, okay, yeah, Inshiraba
is
another...
everywhere, so tell me.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that. we have Inshiraba.
Yes.
And then we also have where the EcoBank is. I've forgotten the name of that. There's a pub, a nightclub there, but
okay.
Around that, the traffic lights.
Oh, Kotobabi.
Kotobabi traffic lights. Yeah. There's another street there.
On the corner on the right.
That also operates like Osu.
Yes.
These places, what do you think, or how do you think government played a role in its being very active in the night market business?
You know, I wouldn't say government played a role, but I think what we are trying to do is to piggyback what is already working. I mean, if you take a place like Dansoman, it used to be like that. Dansoman girl used to be...
Yeah, okay, I'm not sure about that Dansoman.
Yeah, but then if the support doesn't come in, if you then do not add on infrastructure, deliberate policies, deliberate activities, then it goes off. I mean, if you go to Kumasi, it used to be Bantama. Now if you go to Bantama, nothing happens because it happened on its own. It was organic. People just started and the people loved it. But then the issues will come up. The issues of light, the issues of security, the issue of sanitation. Then all of a sudden people stop. So we have identified all these areas that we believe organically something has started. So we go in, work with the assembly, work with the community, work with the operators there and say, look, what sort of support can be put in place to make sure that this is not a 9-day wonder? Because we've seen it before. We've seen the Dansomans before, the Bantumas, and now these places are, I wouldn't say dead, but they are not as late as it used to be those days. And so it's about going in and being deliberate about some of the things that you need to add on to what organically has started.
The task force is made of what?
So we have the Ghana Tourism Authority, the GRA, Ghana Revenue Authority. They have already started something on a night taxing. So we wanted to piggyback the infrastructure that they have. You have local government. They are in charge of the assemblies. You have the Ministry of Interior. They are also, when it comes to security, all the police, the other security services work to them. And then the Ministry of Youth and Sports, they have come in because we know the sheer number of astroturfs that have been built over the last few years, and we want to leverage that. Currently, there are communities where they play soccer till like 2 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
If you go to Teshi, Jolu, and all that. So we want to...
I mean, I have a friend who built a...
AstroTurf?
AstroTurf, yes. And the location of the AstroTurf makes it very comfortable for people to come and play anytime they want to play. Late in the night, they're there playing.
Yeah, 1 a.m., 2 a.m.
Yes, yes.
So all these things are happening. So Ministry of Youth and Sports are also in. So we are trying to come up with more like a plan using Accra as a pilot to see, okay, what can be done here, what can be done here, how do we make sure that we also have all these people coming in, and when they come in, they can experience the authentic Ghana throughout the day and throughout the night. And so that's what we are doing. I believe by next week, our work will be done. We'll present the plan to the Ministry of Finance, and from there, I think something will come. So we're using December as a test case to see what can be driven and how do we then follow up. Go to other regions. I know
that's basically for the night economy.
The night economy plan. Yeah.
You're presenting a plan for the night economy.
Yeah, there's a concept paper that has been worked on with the Ministry of Finance and everything. Now we are going into the implementation phase. As the minister mentioned in the budget, that we're going to drive that. So we want to see, okay, all these laudable ideas. How do we increase revenue into the economy and all that? They are all ideas. Now the actualization.
So let me get this straight. So the night economy was operating without any support or any intentional plan to have it run, continuously. Yeah. So now we want to put in a plan.
We want to be deliberate about it.
To be deliberate about it and see how we can sustain it. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. And that's the work of the task force. The authority.
Yeah, so we are co-chairing the task force, but it's with other agencies. We can't do it on our own, and so all these agencies are coming in. We understand that we need each other. We need everybody within the ecosystem to come on board. Places are coming up. There are also concerns. I mean, we have places like Labone cantonments where now, if you go in the night, you see bar, restaurant. The residents also have concerns that all of a sudden I cannot enter my house because people are parking in front of my gate and all that. So there's a bit of work that has to be done with the assemblies, and all these things are things that we are looking at. I mean, tomorrow, for example, we are doing visits to all these places. Probably I'll invite you to come in with your cameras. Let's see what is happening at night in these places and see how we can work together, because we need the media also to drum home the fact that once we finish the work, Accra is safe, Ghana is safe, people should come out and have fun.
That's a very comprehensive approach.
Yes, that's what we need. We can't
officially adopt a night economy.
Yes, I think that is...
Did we have, well, because we were not deliberate about it, I'm not sure if we were able to...
You know, Ghana used to have a very strong night economy.
What?
Ghana used to have a very strong night economy.
Okay, and then...
and then the revolution happened, the coups. So once there was a coup, you know, in the 80s, there was curfew for...
Yeah, of course, if there's school, there should be curfews.
Yeah, so there was a curfew for about 3 years. Some say 5, I remember 3. Okay. So for 3 years, people were sleeping at 7. You couldn't go out at 7. And that's how come all the cinemas, the Rivolis, the Rexes, and all, they all shut down. All the nightclubs that were there, the Apollo theaters, they were all shut down. Nobody deliberately shut them down. But these are places that you go to at night. I've been involved in Silverbed, the cinemas. I mean, when we started, cinemas, became the first cinema in Ghana for a very long time. And so you need to be deliberate about this.
But Silverbed had nothing to do with the coup.
I'm just saying. So since that time, the cinema culture was dead.
Okay.
Till Silverbed opened.
Okay.
So that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So I'm just telling you how, if some of these things impact. So had it not been for that, probably our night economy would have been way up. But it's not too late. We can do what...
That's why we are trying to avoid coup, where people are talking about coup.
No. The people who talk about these things have not lived through a coup before. They don't know what it means. So when they talk about coup, I just laugh, because when you've been there before, you've seen it before, you've seen the things that go on, the torture, the businesses that collapse and all that. You don't want that. I mean, as challenged as our system sometimes is, we need to build it. We need to look at it and develop policies and things. And I believe that, by and large, if you take tourism, for example, this government has been very deliberate in putting in place the infrastructure, putting in place the ideas, marketing, and all those things that will get us to the point where we will say, yes, Ghana tourism is at the level that we all want to be. For me...
Are you able to... just as you've been able to convince Oforiatta, you should be able to convince him again that you have to turn all your attention to tourism, that Ghana can build on the hinges of tourism.
Oh, I think that one I need your support, because I've been saying it over and over again that it's a low-hanging fruit. Tourism is a low-hanging fruit. God has given us all this. Look, if you go to Dubai now, they are trying to build a forest to put in animals. If you go to Saudi Arabia, they are building a city called Neom Tourism. So these people are now going to build the things that we already have. We have beaches. It's 500 plus kilometers.
But should I tell you what your problem is?
That's not my problem. It's a Ghanaian problem.
Your problem.
Why?
Ghana Tourism Authority's problem.
Why?
Maintenance.
No. It's not a maintenance per se. It's the culture of tourism that people didn't appreciate that. Tourism was
for example, we have the Nkrumah Museum that has been renovated, right? There are a lot of people who have been very pessimistic about it, that, just give them 3 years. In fact,
it will not.
I'm marking time. I'm waiting for 3 years.
Oh, you go wait tire, as I say.
No,
you go wait tire. I'll make you shy.
Embarrass me.
No, you will wait tire, because look, it shouldn't be. I mean, I understand why people will be pessimistic about some of these things.
Let me add some more.
Yeah.
We have forest reserves, right? Recently, we've had Kakun forest issue come up. And to my surprise, some of our forest reserves, we've already given, we have allies that give them out that people can mine, or mining companies can go in the forest we call forest reserves to mine. And we were backing them up with laws.
So, Annie, I think you are saying the same thing I'm saying.
I'm not.
Why?
No, we are not.
No. So
we're not. The point I'm trying to make is that once we have the leadership, that leadership should drive us. We should stop talking about the attitude of people.
No, I'm not talking about attitude of people.
Yes.
I'm just saying, for example, if you talk about forestry, there is a forestry commission that handles forest. We do not handle forest.
I know.
Okay. Then there are other agencies that also have things that they are in charge of.
NPA.
Okay. So you bring it back to the tourism conversation, where we can say deliberately, because these forest reserves that are there, we've given some to people to mine for timber logging. I mean, where did they get their license? All the big timber firms. It used to be that people were just cutting this timber. Those times, if you were on the Takrady Road, you see trucks and trucks of timber. Then the government came up with a law that you could not export
timber
logs. You have to process it. And all of a sudden, you don't see the logs. The processing is going on in some ways, but now even a lot of the places you are not allowed to fell the trees.
It still happens.
So yeah, it still happens, but it's not something that I'm blaming individuals or attitudes for. So we've come to tourism. I mean, to a point where now people are seeing. It's evident. I mean, when we started putting out numbers, I remember in 2019, people say, "Oh, they are telling lies." I said, "Look, go to the airport. We have people at the airport. People come. So let's have a deliberate conversation that, oh, if we have a forest game reserve, how much can it generate for the country?" The numbers are there. 2 years ago, you had 127,000 people go to Kakum. When they are going, the transport benefits. When they are going, they will buy food on the way. When they are going, if there are hotels, there's a hotel there, Rainforest. Beautiful hotel. People go there and stay there.
What's the state of the road to Kakum Forest?
Perfect.
Has it been constructed?
It's been done. I mean, it's been done. Recently, during the rainfall, there was a broken bridge. And so that's a bit of an issue, but that is being fixed. But apart from that, the road is good. And so
I'm not asking if it's good.
It's perfect. Tarred road.
It's been years since I went there.
No, you have to. It's tarred road. But back to the issue. So these conversations are happening because people now see that, okay, we want to be deliberate about tourism. So let's fix the roads. So we have identified roads. We've engaged with the Ministry of Roads. They've assured us that every year they can do 50 kilometers. So we said, okay, this year, for example, our number one target for 2024, Boti Falls. If you're going there, the road is pathetic. I'll not sit here and talk about it. It's pathetic. But we know that we are not in an island. Everybody's complaining about roads. I mean, everywhere you've gone, you have in Teshi, people who came out on the street, they were fighting about roads.
You see, that's where my issue is. When we have our priorities right, we know how much tourism generates, say, annually. If we have a problem with Teshin Road and I have a problem with Boti Falls Road, if I'm giving the opportunity to name my priorities, I will prioritize, Cocoa Road. I will prioritize because I know that tourism is my number one that brings in the revenue. That's where. So I'll prioritize
the tourism road.
The Boti Falls Road. Fix it. Get revenue generated from there, and then use that revenue to now fix the Teshin Road, the Choku Road, the Choko, and everything. Do you get my point?
My language.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying that deliberately we have been having these conversations to get it to the number one, because time was when people think of tourism, they think of, oh, it's entertainment. But now people are seeing that, okay, it's business. The number of people who have invested in the sector, the number of new hotels that are coming up, in airports, in other areas, tells me that people are seeing that it's a business. Now that you are getting to that level where in the national budget, I mean, in the past, national budget will come, tourism, they organize chocolate day, and that was it. But now there are conversations. The president goes to the UN and talks about the year of return. The Minister of Finance is in Parliament and talks about the year of return, talks about December in GH. So there are conversations that are bringing tourism to the level that, okay, everybody will take notice. And we haven't left it there. We've gone to the Ministry of Roads. We said, look, we need roads to be fixed in our sector. He says, okay, we cannot do all. At least I can assure you 50 kilometers. Bring me the 50. We've prioritized roads here going to Jirapa in other places. Now we are not stopping there. We say, okay, let's tackle the visa issue. Because no matter what you do, if your visa processes are cumbersome, people are not going to come. That's how come you see the visa on arrival letter that you've seen. So we are not just talking about it. We are not complaining. We are saying that let's fix these issues. We know that the night economy can drive the economy of Ghana to a certain level. We are deliberate about it. A task force in place. Next week, outdoor, the strategy that we are going to put in place, and then we move. So for us, it's not just talk. We are going to fix it, and we are fixing it.
So the night economy strategy will be outdoor next week?
Yes.
We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Good Afternoon Ghana. I'm still in the studio with the CEO of Ghana Tourism Authority, KWASI Agyeman, and we're talking, the visa on arrival, the night economy, things to do to boost the tourism economy and make it number one in catering for the nation Ghana. So let me ask about this funeral tourism.
What about it?
What about it? We heard the minister say he was going to organize, buses, funeral. We adore funerals here in this country. So he was going to organize, but I was wondering if it's I think policy or something he just mentioned off his head.
No. I think he was, the whole thing was taken out of context because already we travel for funerals. I mean, last week I was in Ashanti region, with funeral of our former First Lady, Mother Teresa.
Yeah.
And the sheer numbers of people who went to KWASI for that funeral. When you take tourism, the definition of tourism by the UNWTO is if you move from your place of abode to another destination for a period of more than, I think, 24 hours, you're considered a tourist. And so to the extent that funerals are driving people to visit a lot of destinations in Ghana, we are already having that. What Minister was saying was that our sector, and we are the regulators of the sector, the Tourism Authority, and our players should find a way to leverage the visits that are happening. People are traveling. People are going to...
So then we should stop the hypocrisy about funerals, because in one breath, we have leaders saying, "Stop spending."
I for example,
in
I don't.
Breath, we say, "Let's, organize."
No. For me, funeral is a social activity that we have as a country. If people, when I lost my mom a few years ago, people thought, okay, I'll come. Okay, where is it? I said, Dunkwa or nothing. They thought it was just. Some people thought it was just a 2-hour journey. Till they were driving for almost 6 hours, 7 hours. They would say, "Hey, we didn't know your hometown is that far." So it's already happening, and the number of people who came, all the hotels were full. The hotels are part of tourism, and so if these things.
So today we say that during funerals, hotels cash in.
Yes, a lot of the hotels that are
designers cash in.
Designers cash. So for me, that is also part to the point that I said that because in the past we have not been able to convince ourselves that the ecosystem of tourism is this. If we take a typical funeral, and tomorrow, for example, we are going to the funeral of the late Kwawuma in Kwawu.
Yeah.
You will have transport services. You will have entertainment. So the people who will come and sing at the funerals, the musicians and all those things. How are they going to make money if these social activities are not there? You have caterers who are cooking for people coming. And so I think we need to look at all these things in totality and not say, so for example, when all of a sudden they said in some communities you have to ban wake keepings and people should just come to the funeral and go. How will the hotel survive? How will the people who have built the guest houses, how will they employ people? So for those who can afford, I think, and I agree with them, if you can't afford, if you lose a family member and you can just have a little, do that. But it's not to say, oh, funerals are bad, why are people celebrating the dead and all that? I mean, the first lady of the country, President Kufuor's wife, is dead, and he cannot celebrate his wife.
At least from where we come from, we appreciate celebrating the dead.
It's not about celebrating, it's a celebration of life.
Okay.
It's a celebration of the life. Because that is it's like a final farewell. Yeah. When we have people come in, when we do our adorings, people, why don't you complain about that?
Yeah.
That you put the money down and use it to take care of the kid when they grow up. But we have outdoors.
That's a celebration of life.
That's also a celebration of life. Yes. So the person is going, we're doing a final farewell. For some families, it's a family gathering. The Americans do Thanksgiving. What do? They meet. People travel to go and cut turkey and all that. And it boosts their economy. So if for us, the funeral opportunity is for us to meet, gather, that's probably for some people the first time that the whole family is meeting. Some will come from Bolga here, people in different. So that's what the conversation was bringing to the system that, look, these things are happening. He didn't say, oh, I think let's move on to the next topic.
Why do you want to move away from the funeral?
We finished that one.
Anyway, well, that's why I was going more into when earlier on you said that, well, the tourism is improving and all that. I said in terms of improving, I would like to ask you some questions about this. So because we go to tourism sites and the problems, it keeps arising or they're getting worse by the day. When you're
where have you been that is getting worse?
When you go to,
let's stay there. Let's stay there.
I'm citing an example.
Let's stay there.
I'm citing an example.
Okay.
When you're going to the Volta region, that side where the monkeys are.
Tafia Tome.
Tome.
When was the last time you were there?
Oh, that was 2 months or 3 months ago.
And it's getting worse?
Of course. You always see the monkeys in the streets getting knocked down by cars.
No. You're talking about, are you talking about Shy Hill?
Yes.
Okay. All right. It's not getting worse. It's a matter of the monkeys. There are road signs all over that these monkeys will come by the road.
Why?
Oh, it used to be their natural habitat.
Yes. Yeah. And we constructed the road.
They constructed the road. But you also have to understand that it's a big park. It's about, I've forgotten the number of kilometers, very huge. And so these animals are also within their natural environment. Yeah. So they will go around, go around. It's not a zoo. It's different if you are in a zoo where it's locked. Yeah. So when you have them in that natural habitat. For example, if you go to Mole, they are in their natural habitat. We would love to see them.
Yes, but if you go to Mole, for example, it's in their natural habitat, but you see a deliberate effort of couching the park.
Because you don't have any major street passing through. Go to the people who live in Damongo. Sometimes the animals come there. Some of the monkeys in Mole, they run to people's houses. So once you leave them in the wild, as it ought to be, because it's not a zoo, you have these things, and that's why when you're getting to Shy, they say, slow down. Be aware of this, be aware of this, be aware of that. But people don't read the road signs, and people are speeding and all that. But it's not... But
so what can we do?
So it's not deteriorating.
Because it is. You will argue with that, but it is. I am an animal lover.
Okay.
So a person like me, or who is like me, sees one animal knocked down by a car.
Okay, so you're talking about the
animal
being knocked by the car, but if you talk about the site itself, you said when you go to a site...
They all contribute. No. There are people who go there basically because they want to see the monkeys, because they want to just play with them, love them, do something.
Right, I take the feedback.
But
we have done a lot of work in terms of improving on the tourism infrastructure. How did we start it? In 2019, we came up with a new legislative instrument, because you can't have these things without a law, without structure. If there's no structure to it, things will get bad. I remember 2017, my baptism of fire, Kintampo waterfalls. On a hot Sunday, people go out there, they are bathing in the waterfall, and all of a sudden the trees fall from there because there's a storm. We went in there and realized that, hey, there were, who is managing this thing? Somebody says, oh, there's this youth group, the assembly, there's this chief. So it was a bit chaotic. So we came up with a law, LI 2393, to say that every tourist site and attraction has to be registered and licensed. And in addition to that, we had done a safety audit to say that these are the things that you have to put in place. So currently, if you look at all the sites that we have developed, if you go to Kintampo, look at it where it was 5 years ago till now, with the addition of a canopy walkway, very soon a zip line is coming there, you won't tell me that it's a deteriorating place. If you go to Salaga, we went in there based on the law, because the law says that the traditional council should be part of the management, the assembly should be part of the management, and GTA should be part of the management. So we have these management boards. When you talked about Monkey Sanctuary, I thought you were referring to Tafia Tome.
No, I was talking about the Shy Hills.
So if you go to Tafia Tome, that model is working there. It is working in Zulezu. We had an issue with Zulezu. That model has come in, everybody is happy. Kintampo, everybody is happy.
Okay.
If you go to Bunsu, it's happy. Now, based on that model, as I sit here now, work is going on. Go there, Paga, go there, Pikoro, go there, Salaga, go there, Tanoboase, Chichire, Bonre. All these things are based on that model. And this infrastructure is being improved. Kwame Nkrumah is here. You can see it. Bunsu, you can see it. So it's easy to generalize, oh, we are not doing well. But I can tell you, in tourism, based on what I have seen and what I came to meet and what has happened over the last few years, I see it as a progressive growth. Are we done? No. Is there work to be done? Yes. How do we do it? We need to do it together with our industry players, and that is why we've set up what you call the Public-Private Partnership Forum. It wasn't there. It's in the Act that there has to be a Public-Private Partnership Forum. For the first time, we set this thing up 2 years ago, and we've started engaging at levels that will bring the change that we need in our industry.
Right.
But so far, I will say so good.
Right. Our time is up. Make arrangements and take me to Izulezu.
No. First, tomorrow evening, we are going to, me and you, we are doing nighttime in Accra. So prepare. We'll eat kenke. We'll start off with Osu. We'll go to Duncan's, and then we'll go to the night market and cross over to Cantonments and end up on the Spinters Road in Shiraba, and then come to Weja. We'll do that. And then when you come back again on Good Afternoon Ghana, you can tell Ghanaians what is happening.
KWASI Agyeman. KWASI Agyeman is actually the CEO for the Ghana Tourism Authority. I'm grateful that you came through. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you for coming. This has been Good Afternoon Ghana. Oh, yeah, sure.
Right.
Sure. So we'll see you again. Thank you for watching. And next is Entertainment Review.